Super Bowl 54 is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs over the San Francisco 49ers. I correctly predicted the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl before conference title week. I correctly predicted the Packers Chiefs Super Bowl to happen in Super Bowl 57 because State Farm, that commercial had to do with the site of the Super Bowl, State Farm Stadium. It didn't mean they were going to have that Super Bowl matchup for that particular year. Jimmy Garoppolo tore his ACL against the Kansas City Chiefs back in 2018. The NFL is the WWE. They put Jimmy Garoppolo in his torn ACL up against the Chiefs. In the Super Bowl, a score of 38-27, a total of 65 points. The Chiefs scoring 38. It's Florida that has the matchup 38, 65 total points in the game. This Super Bowl is going to be over at Florida. 50 years later, the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. That is the headline. So the Chiefs are playing their first Super Bowl in 50 years. And now the significance of 50 making it to their first Super Bowl in 50 years is that it is San Francisco that equals 50. It's also Kansas City. That's the same corresponding gematria value of 122. Now keep in mind, the Chiefs are from the state of Missouri. Kroenke and the Rams leave St. Louis. St. Louis Blues win the championship, and now we can see the Chiefs in Missouri win the championship. It's Missouri. It's City of Miami that equals 123. Santa Clara is over at Miami. It's Santa Clara. It's Miami that equals 27. Andy Reid's going to win the Super Bowl over at Miami. Andy Reid's winning percentage in the Super Bowl as a head coach is going to be 50%. Andy Reid won. He lost Super Bowl 39. He's going to win the Super Bowl 15 years later with number 15, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to win the Super Bowl in the 100th year anniversary to commemorate the first Super Bowl winning quarterback in Super Bowl one, which was Bart Starr. That's the real reason why the death of Bart Starr is going to be significant. It's because Patrick Mahomes is going to be winning the Super Bowl, number 15 in the 100th season to commemorate number 15. In gematria, don't forget, the NFC and the AFC are going to be tied at 27 Super Bowl titles apiece. We see a Super Bowl between two red teams. It's red that has gematria of 27. That is the significance of 27 Super Bowls for the NFC. Once the NFC wins the Super Bowl, or once the AFC wins the Super Bowl, now the 49ers can be team number 28 to win, but that may be too obvious, and that's is necessarily, that's not going to be the case necessarily. Now, Joe Montana ended his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. Also keep in mind that Steve Young and the 49ers last won the Super Bowl over at Miami in what may have been Super Bowl 31. So let me go to the Super Bowl in 1995, which was played during the year of the pig. This Super Bowl was played over at Miami, Florida. That was the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl. The 49ers are playing in the 6th Super Bowl over at the Miami area. And they're playing for the chance to win their 6th Super Bowl. But it's not going to happen that way. It's because in their quest for 6 Super Bowls, the 49ers Super Bowl record is going to be 5-2. 49ers record would be 5-2. Their 8th Super Bowl appearance, number 8, is the year of the GOAT. They beat the Green Bay Packers, formed in 1919. That's the year of the GOAT. Kyle Shanahan, born in 1979. He is the year of the GOAT. And Jimmy Garoppolo, born in 1991. He is the year of the GOAT. That's why the 49ers are making their 8th Super Bowl appearance. Now, Patrick Mahomes, born in 1995. 1995 is the year of the pig. 2019, year of the pig. And the conspiracy that Aaron Rodgers is going to make it to the Super Bowl because he's born in the year of the pig, that didn't happen. It was Kyle Shanahan in the 49ers making it into there. Now, my next point to make is that the Chiefs played their first season in 1960. 1960 is a year of the rat. So that's why the Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl again. This is why 49 Super Bowls have been played without the Chiefs before they make it to their next one 50 years later. And now the 49ers are going to be 5-2 in the Super Bowl. It's because Joe Montana, once I go to his Wikipedia, in case you guys didn't know, Joe Montana played with the Chiefs through the end of his career. The only other quarterback to win the Super Bowl for the 49ers was Steve Young. Jimmy Garoppolo is now in the 49ers, but he's going to represent something symbolic. He's not going to emulate Joe Montana, but he's in the shadows of Joe Montana. And Jimmy Garoppolo, being a Bears fan, and the Bears passing on Patrick Mahomes is going to be significant. I mean, the 49ers passed on Patrick Mahomes as well, and they've been looking for the GOAT, the next GOAT, ever since Joe Montana retired. And so that's why we see Jimmy Garoppolo in his torn ACL against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's because this team is supposed to be a nemesis. The torn ACL, the rematch against the Chiefs, Jimmy Garoppolo, Book of Revelation, 185 and 77. But when you look at the script for the Super Bowl, the Chiefs are going to win. It's because the 49ers are going to have a 7-7 record against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be a nemesis. It's because ever since Joe Montana declined and ended his career, the 49ers are still trying to find that next great quarterback, and they didn't find him. They've been trying to find him ever since Steve Young retired. The 49ers didn't win any Super Bowls at Santa Clara. We have a curse. And it's Garoppolo having gematria 52, which is why Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be the winners of the Super Bowl to give the 49ers a 5-2 record in the Super Bowl. Now, the shadow of Joe Montana, what Patrick Mahomes represents. Shadow equals 70 and 25, and the shadow of Tom Brady. Jimmy equals 70 and 25. It's cursed that equals 70 and 25 when we talk about Santa Clara. Two teams wearing red in the Super Bowl. Very significant, no doubt. This means the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win. Now, this Super Bowl is going to be for the late owner of the Chiefs, Lamar Hunt. It's Lamar that has the same gematria of Miami. We're not talking about Lamar Jackson, but we're talking about the Hunt family. So Clark Hunt, 1965, the Chinese Zodiac, I should say. 1965, year of the snake, the 49ers playing for their sixth Super Bowl title. 2013, year of the snake, the last time the 49ers lost the Super Bowl. That was 2013 Super Bowl, so they're going to lose again. Now I want you to notice that it's 6 equals 52, and Kansas City equals 52, like I said before. Jimmy Garoppolo is definitely losing the Super Bowl to Kansas City. The 49ers are going to remain at 33 postseason wins. It's because they're going to be in the shadow of Patrick Mahomes. So at the 33, they're going to lose their 22nd playoff game on a date of 2-2. I want you to keep in mind about something with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was born over at Minneapolis, Minnesota. The first team he beat in the playoffs was the Vikings. Now what's interesting about the Vikings is that the last time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, which was Super Bowl IV, they ended up beating the Vikings. And that was the team who the 49ers Super Bowl run began against for the Minneapolis born native Kyle Shanahan. Their Super Bowl run began against the Vikings, and that was who the Chiefs beat for their last Super Bowl title. Pretty interesting to say the least. New Orleans was also the site of the 49ers' first Super Bowl loss to the Baltimore Ravens in Super Bowl 47. So definitely a lot is stacking up for the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid is going to finally win the Super Bowl 15 years later with the true MVP of the league. MVP Patrick Mahomes, 15 years right before the Super Bowl over at Tampa. Of course, Steve Young, who the 49ers got from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, pretty interesting to say the least. I just have to go look up the death of Lamar Hunt quickly, but Andy Reid is going to win his 29th playoff game with the Chiefs, or in total for his career, is going to be for the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs are going to be the defending champions right before the next Super Bowl at Tampa. It's 49ers, that equals 55. 5-5 is going to be the record for Andy Reid after he wins the Super Bowl. He's born over at Los Angeles. The Rams lost the Super Bowl last year. Kansas City's going to continue the AFC's winning streak in the playoffs. Andy Reid's going to he's going to win his 82nd game in his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. I have to figure out the significance of that. 5-5 is going to be the case to keep the 49ers over at 5 Super Bowl titles. Now let's take a look at the late Lamar Hunt and tie in the astrology of Bart Starr and his death before the season. Bart Starr was 85 years old. He was born in 1934. That was January the 9th. 1934 is the year of the dog. Andy Reid, born in the year of the dog. 1958, Andy Reid. And then Jim Harbaugh, coach of the 49ers, the last Super Bowl that they lost. Jim Harbaugh, born in the year of the rabbit. The 49ers are going to be the 4th team to win their 6th Super Bowl. Of course, the 49ers are cursed over at Santa Clara, like I said. Number 4 in the Chinese Zodiac. They're going to become the 4th team to win their 6th Super Bowl. So definitely Jim Harbaugh. That's a big clue. Kansas City's Super Bowl record is going to be 2-1, the same gematria as title. Their 4th appearance, Ken Dawson is his name, or Lenny Dawson. I just wonder when Lamar Hunt passed away. He was born in 1932. 1932, born a year of the monkey. I don't know what the monkey has to do with this, honestly. 2016 is the year of the monkey. 2004. 1992. Those years really don't ring a bell as much as the other ones. But Andy Reid is going to get the job done. Coach Andy Reid is going to be winning the Super Bowl over at Florida, over at Miami. Miami, Florida has gematria of under 10. Coach Reid has gematria of under 10 and 65. And Andy Reid is a disciple of Mike Holmgren during their days with the Packers. And Mike Holmgren was born at San Francisco. That's where Andy Reid came from. Now, we will talk more about Andy Reid and his connections with the Green Bay Packers. That'll tie into a future Super Bowl. But I like how his Super Bowl loss to the Jaguars is going to be something to really look out for this Super Bowl. Jaguars equals 77-23. It's Jimmy G, that's Gematria 77. I mean, definitely we see what stacks up here for the 49ers losing the Super Bowl to have a 5-7 Super Bowl record. And very clearly, we see why the 49ers are going to lose.